Hello my friends and welcome back to Pathogenic. Hope you're all doing well. I really enjoyed my first look at this game, so we're just jumping back in and I'll see if I can get further, maybe get an actual win. So let's just get going. If you didn't see my first video on this game, we're playing as a microorganism trying to infect a human body, which we do by shooting things with guns, as you would imagine. So let's see, I could go with the bacterium again. This we had some experience with. I really liked building my own character with the amoeba, but I think I want to come back to this one when I have a little more experience with the game's system. Can't strafe seems pretty frustrating. Can't rotate. You know what? Let's go with the fungal spore. We'll see how it works when we can't rotate. So we have the laterally symmetric maneuvering capabilities with our flagella and our spore cannons all on the sides of our character. So yeah, let's just jump in. It looks like, okay, I have maximum capacity. I can't change anything. So we'll just jump in here and we'll head into the skin. Still not tired of this intro movie, though I expect at some point we'll start skipping it. But it's a really cool start to this game. Alright, so let's get a sense of what it means that we can't rotate. We can still shoot in... Also, we're really fast because we start with double flagella. Yeah, we can still shoot all our guns in any direction, basically. So, not being able to rotate really does not seem like a problem here. This is, you know, more familiar coming from Rotato. Alright, so... There doesn't seem to be any reason to do rooms especially fast unless I'm missing some mechanics, so we can play it a little safe and just try to conserve our health at the beginning. I do like how much damage we do. Let's use that bomb. Nice. Alright, and we can head up here and we can see if there's something that we want. So we can get an exocytotic chamber, and so this gives us the charged attacks. Maybe more interesting with the spore cannons as well, because being able to charge these is probably pretty powerful. And then this just gives us some DNA to level up. So, you know what, let's do this. Just leveling up immediately seems pretty good. We also have the Berserk Mitochondrion, so this gives us overcharge after each kill. Okay, so we could get extra stamina, always pretty solid. Hearts after finishing a room, plus 0.75% damage for each point of thrust from flagella, and we have 4 of these, each providing 5 thrust. So that's 15% flat damage, and then more if we get faster. Seems pretty good. Or minus 50% projectile speed. I feel like there are reasons you would want this. Maybe weapons that get stronger the longer the projectile's in the air or something like that. I seem to recall there was something that did that, but let's just take this and we'll try to make ourselves the world's fastest fungus. And then head in here. I love that we start with this really high damage setup because we just get to one-tap these enemies in the early game. And we got a point of armor. Didn't get a reward for this room, but that's okay. Got both of those. Okay, right, these are enemies as well. One thing I will say is I'm still not used to which things in the game are enemies and which are not. Let's head in here. Okay, so we can buy some DNA, and it's on sale, so we only spend 2 on the DNA. We can get the entrant mitochondrion and overcharge the other half of our things. Also, our character, some disturbing movement. Lateral vent shoots 2 short-range projectiles sideways. We had this in a previous run where it could shoot backwards and forwards. Let me look at my character again. So I have no external slots open at all. We have... Oh, slot accepts both internal and external. So I could put something external in the middle, which is... I don't know what way it would face, but that's kind of cool. So I guess this is on the top and bottom of our character. So that's kind of interesting. And then here we have press E to explode gibs of dead enemies. Explosions deal 200 damage, needs 2 seconds of overcharge to charge up, and holds activation charges. Okay, let's get the DNA because it's on sale, and then we can level. And, oh, I get to actually become a better fungus. So we could become a Dictiosporium and gain basically some internal slots mostly. Or we could be this guy and have the same number of external slots but 2 extra internal slots. Or this one who gets some extra external slots on the front and back. I think we're going to be a Spegazinia. Because I like the idea of this diamond shape. I feel like it's going to be relatively easy to get combat power on the front and back now. So we'll do this. And yeah, I can still... My tendrils kind of go over the pointed corners of our character, so I can still do that. And then we'll buy the entrant mitochondrion, and we'll put it, I guess, on the front ones. We're most likely to attack with those, so it'll overcharge those, and that'll be fine. And we can always come back for one of these things. This is also on sale, so maybe we'll grab it later. We don't need the health, so let's keep on rolling. Head down to here, and then we'll explode some things. I do like that it shows you where enemies are going to spawn, and you can pre-fire them. So that's pretty nice. And down here, we're going to grab... Okay, so the Perforin Infuser attacks pierce through enemies. Pretty powerful with our cannon, I think. Or the Kinetic Pseudopod, which pushes nearby enemies away, dealing 10 damage per second and 20 damage every 2 seconds. And this is a support ability. I think the support abilities are external. And then this is internal, and it's an attack infuser. 40% damage after each pierce. So against large groups of enemies, this is very powerful. Let's get this, though, and we'll see how it works. Okay, yeah, so it does push things away. Interesting that it's not... This isn't bilateral, so it's not going... We only get the one application of this. But let's put it in the front, since we're in the top of our character. We can't rotate, so I think that's going to be reasonably useful, and we can kind of slap things away here. Avoid stepping on that bomb. I don't know if the bombs can hurt you after you're done with the room, but no need to risk it. And we'll head back out here. Dodge that attack. Okay. Just sort of finding these guys and tapping them once each with our spore cannons. And there we go. And then we'll grab this. So let me fast travel to the shop, and we'll just check if there's something I want here. So I can get the lateral vent. I don't have enough money. The necrolytic igniter. You know what? Let's grab this. It just seems fun. And I'm going to put it here, and then it's going to get overcharged by both of my overcharge things. So we're going to be able to trigger this a lot, because it overcharges when we start a room, and then we can explode enemies. And then when we kill things, it gives us another charge of the explosion. So we'll be able to just keep spamming E and chain that together, is the theory. So rooms with lots of enemies are going to be good for us. And now we have to fight the blood monocyte here. Okay, so I can degrade the terrain as well. If I shoot the terrain, it's losing some... Yeah, you can see the yellow area is spreading. So if I'm worried about the spiky stuff there, I can shoot it, which is kind of useful to know. Now, we should be able to kill this enemy pretty easily here. Our damage just being very high. So we can get the argentic coating, giving us extra damage for holding cores. Active abilities activate automatically as soon as they're charged and need 25% less overcharge time to charge. That's cool. So this will make our necrolytic igniter constantly explode enemy corpses. That seems awesome. Extra damage and attack when at 2 or less HP, or higher rarity organelles. Let's go with the autonomic discharge. That just seems so much fun. All right, and then I can get regenerator, which will spawn health after being overcharged. We have 1 internal slot left open. Actually, it's an internal or external, and 1 external at the rear here. Cryoflagellum. So I do want more flagella because the extra thrust increases our damage, or the lateral vent. But let's get this, and we'll put it at the back here, and then we can freeze nearby enemies. What does it look like if I put it in the middle? Okay, yeah, so it does still... It'll just poke out the nearest side of our character. I guess this represents the top of our fungus. All right. And so when we dodge... Okay, so now it leaves a freezing explosion when we dodge. So that's pretty cool as well. I could go buy something, but I don't have the money because it costs 13. So we're just on to the next zone, which is, of course, the Intestine. We just sent it back into space. I think our little pseudopod here just slapped it. Yeah. All right, so in theory, when we start killing stuff, yes, it's gonna start exploding it, our active ability. It won't necessarily be on... Oh, that's an enemy. It won't necessarily be on top of something that we actually want to hit when it explodes, is the downside of this, but it's still really cool. And when we get to the later zones where there's more enemies in a given map, I think that's going to be very helpful. And there we go. So we got that, and nothing that we can pick up here. There's a shop, so we'll head over here. We have the Opulentor. Creates 3 cores after being overcharged for 25 seconds. So we have 15 seconds of overcharge from this. So if I put it so it's connected to both of them, I have 15 seconds of overcharge and then 3 after each kill. So that would still require 4 kills to be able to trigger this. That seems okay. The Helical proboscis is a drill that takes time to charge up. Now we have the rear-facing slot there. Spawns 1 armor after being overcharged for 60 seconds. Buy a health. And to buy the DNA when it's on sale. And then I think we're just going to come back to this stuff, so let's fast travel out. We can always come back to the shop later once I have a few more cores to spend. Maybe we've evolved our character into a new form. I don't know like at what levels that happens or how that works exactly. Also, of course, I have 2 copies of my flagella. I have 2 copies of the Spore cannon, so I can combine those items as well into rarer versions if there's something else that we specifically want. All right, so if I kill one of those, then in theory, I have to dodge away from this guy. It's going to do the corpse explosion on top of all the other things. Yeah, there we go. That's what we were looking for. Trying to actually snipe these enemies with the Spore cannons can be a little risky. I really like the proboscis that knocks enemies away, though. That saved me a lot of health, I think, so far. Yeah, there we go. That's the theory coming into practice. There were enough enemies in this room that we were able to just blow them all up. Okay, so 10% damage just passively, not bad. Frozen enemies take 50% damage. We do have the Cryoflagellum, higher rarity rewards, or faster attack speed. I really like faster attack speed. We don't have a lot of stamina yet, but maybe we just go for the scavenger's gland. It's still early in the run, hopefully, assuming I don't die, so an economy upgrade early is pretty nice. Now, I do want another weapon of some kind, because this one is pretty slow. So, I mean, it worked well there once we actually killed our first enemy. But this one is still fairly slow. We unlocked something for finishing 12 rooms in a row without losing any HP. So, good job me, good job fungus. The magnetosome. Projectiles are pulled towards the organelle. When projectiles pass through the organelle, they gain bonuses from connected infusers. So, and +3 pierce, 4x longer projectile lifetime. So basically, I would put this at the front somewhere, and then I could like upgrade my flagella, and then we could have our spore balls shoot through the magnetosome in order to gain bonuses, I think is how that works. Spawns a single heavy melee minion. Revives the minion in battle after being overcharged for 25 seconds. Alright, I haven't tried a minion yet, so let's do that. And then I think I like it more... what do I want to overcharge here? So this needs 25 seconds of overcharge to get our minion back. This needs the 2 seconds of overcharge. I think it's fine to just charge this every time we kill something. I think that's totally fine. The igniter, because we only need it charged when something's dead anyways. And well, I got stuck on those guys. Let's get back out into the gut here. I'll go back for that other room. I do see the other room at the back there. Okay, so we have our little minion. Who's going to take a lot of damage. Oh, there's an enemy behind me. A lot of enemies behind me. Okay. I guess maybe I shouldn't have backed off there. Is our minion just killing everything for us? I think maybe. So I need to get up here to collect the drops from these enemies. We exploded some corpses. There we go. This guy is so stealthy. Blends into the background really well. Which is odd because it's huge. And then there's an enemy coming up here. I need to look at the mini-map more, obviously. And, oh, that's my minion, okay. And then we'll head back down this direction. Oh, there was an enemy down there, which I do want to farm that guy. I keep shooting at my minion. The green guy is on my side, just obviously need to remember that. There is some incentive to win these fights quickly to save health on the minion, I guess, but we're just recharging it anyways. Quite rapidly. Because every time I kill something, we get charged, and every time we go into a new room, we get charged. But it doesn't seem to save charge, so... Or no, it definitely does, because we just resummoned the guy there. Alright, so we're hiding in the corner, letting our minion tank for us, throws that enemy, and then we splatter it, go pick up this DNA. Fortunately, the corpse explosion doesn't hit me. This, like, tapeworm sort of guy is, very stuck right now. Alright, frozen enemies take extra damage. Wait, okay. Can I... Oh! Alright, this is something I missed completely in my last playthrough, but this is very cool. When you hold control, it shows... I don't know why it makes me do this. It's just got literally one line of text. Just show me all the text. Don't make me hold a button. But anyways, when you hold control, it shows how much damage this organelle did in the last room. So I actually can see which items are being effective. So... Our minion did 2,000 damage in the last room. Basically, slightly better than any of my cannons. How about this? 4,000 damage from the igniter. So, as we can see, the igniter is doing really well. Frozen enemies take extra damage, 200% damage, minus 50% for each weapon. I don't want that because we have a lot of weapons. Just gain some cores, gain damage for each active mitochondrion. I'm not sure. We have a mitochondrion here, and we have some active abilities. I'm not sure exactly what what counts as an active mitochondrion for the respiratory burst. I guess I'll take the cryolysis here. I feel like that will eventually be useful, because we have one source of freezing. Maybe we get more. We get a point of armor here. Oh, unlock for 5. All right, we'll do that. And we got a bunch of DNA. Nice. Then we can fast travel over here. Get this big tail guy. Yeah, it's not doing much damage, but the little knockback pseudopod on the front of us, I've really liked. Just makes me a lot safer, I feel like. Okay, I need to dash through here. I was trying to get the freeze effect on at least something, but I wasn't able to. What if I walk up this way and then dash backwards? Yeah, we can freeze something. But I didn't hit it before the freeze wore off. But as soon as I killed it, it exploded everything. Nice. All right, so we can radically change our shape. We can become an Alternaria. I'm liking our current shape pretty well. So I don't want to change our shape too much, because the nice thing about this tightly packed internal setup is all of these are buffing all of my other things. We can become the Penicillium, which is pretty nice here. It gives us the same number of external slots, right? Because currently we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then, yeah, we have 10. And this is also... No, this is only 8 external slots, but then a couple of our internals are also able to be external. The Berkelesmium is 9 external slots. This is a sort of trilateral creature. And the Alternaria has 12 external slots, but slightly weirdly placed. But maybe this is what we want anyways, and we can do just a fairly tight setup down the front. I do think we want to upgrade. So let's go with this. This is not currently connected to an organelle. Okay, the entrant mitochondrion. So it can no longer... The berserk mitochondrion... I think the berserk one is less important. So we're going to have the entrant one attached to all of this stuff. And we will have our apex nidus needs to be connected to both. So we're going to put that there. And then we'll leave these 3 slots, and then we have a couple more external slots for other stuff. And we still have our flagella pointing in all directions. We've got this cryoflagellum there, and we have... Okay, wait. So if I do this, can I still dash backwards? Let's test this out. Yeah, so I can still dash backwards. Can I dash forwards? Yeah, we're still fine. I can still shoot basically in all directions. It's a little awkward shooting sideways, but that's okay. And I still have my knockback in the front, which is what I cared about there. Improves damage. So this is just fully 25% damage on my weapons. That's pretty nice. Attacks have a chance to crit. 10% chance to deal 2x damage, so that's effectively plus 10% damage, so you would rather have 25% damage, and this is also more reliable. So I will take this, and I guess our rear cannons now do extra damage. I would like to overcharge this, but there's no way I can connect that. But it will connect to these 2 internals. Overcharge effects are 40% stronger for mitochondria and energy consumers in this slot. Okay, interesting. Excuse me. I guess I'm getting infected by the game. Oh, didn't mute either time. Rip. I think we're good here. I guess I'll fast travel to the shop and see if there's anything that I want. Do I want the armor overcharge? A drill? I could put that in the front. Because I could put my cannons on the side and put a drill on the front, and then we would have a melee weapon. Oh, also, there's an enemy out there, okay. And create cores after being overcharged for 25 seconds. That's pretty fun, but let's get the drill. And so we'll put that on one of these front areas, move the cannon to here, and move the flagellum to here. And Oh, but the drill pokes out. All right, I don't love that the drill works that way. I can't direct it at all. I was thinking I would be able to direct it forward. Also, the game won't let me hit tab anymore. Not really sure why. We'll head to a different room and see. Oh, I guess this enemy is making it angry. Okay, so it thinks we're in combat mode because of that enemy being too close. So we'll head out here and kill that so that I can redesign my character. I'm regretting buying the drill because I thought I would be able to turn its facing. Now I can do this. So I could put this here. This still covers most of the frontal arc, the kinetic pseudopod. I'm okay with my spore cannon being back here. It's still getting overcharged. So we'll do this for now, but I might end up just selling the drill if it ends up being bad. I also really want a stamina upgrade. Also, I should have fast traveled here, but there were enough enemies that I left behind that I'm a little nervous about doing that. Yeah, so the knockback combined with the drill is also not great. Obviously not a combo there. But let's fight this guy. Can I drill it? Tried to hit it with the bomb there. Give it the broadside. So I want to work my way around here to where we can maybe hit it with our drill. I'm also fairly happy just, you know, tapping it with spore cannons from long range because we're not in any danger. This is taking a little bit, but we're getting it. Oh, it like pulled me in somehow. I guess it has some kind of tractor beam. All right, there we go. That took a second, but we got it. Defeat the intestine boss. Okay, so projectiles orbit the organelle. That's kind of cool. We could get another berserk mitochondrion for more overcharge, or discharge accumulated electricity to nearby enemies, 20 damage. Accumulates a charge every 0.5 seconds, holds 20 charges. Okay, so this just constantly shocks nearby enemies. This sounds kind of fun. Let's do that, and we'll put it here. And then, yeah, we have our oxysome improving damage for this as well. So it's going to deal at least a reasonable amount of damage. Just constant electricity discharge is going to help charge our other stuff. And then let's go to the next zone. Obviously, I'll get faster at progressing through these early levels once I learn what everything does and, you know, how the enemies work. I'll probably sell this drill at some point. It's really not feeling very impactful. And I think I'd rather just have the knockback on the front. So, how's the electricity working? Okay, so it's just... No, that was my organelle. I haven't seen the electricity doing anything. Let's head up here. Oh, I'm shooting my own guy. Okay, there the electricity did something. Then I stood in a laser beam. So I need to be a little more careful about not doing that. my melee minion just punting the enemies back into space. That's really funny. We'll stay away from whatever that is. Doesn't look like I can kill those environmental hazards either. At least not with the DPS that we have. Badly need some more stamina. And I did take a couple hits here. But we're back up, so let's head over to this room. All right, I got that one with the drill. All right, game. I'm going to need you to give me some stamina at some point because I cannot support all these weapons with the ammo pool that we have. Let's head down into here. A million enemies spawned on top of me, but somehow I avoided it and they all exploded. That was cool. Okay. Gain a random mitochondrion, +1 max HP, gain some cores, minus 50% projectile speed. Let's go with a random mitochondrion. This is an orbiting arc that blocks enemy projectiles. So I guess we put it here. 50-degree arc size, and it overcharges when it blocks a projectile briefly. Okay, cool. So currently this is only overcharging our oxysome. Is there somewhere that I want it where it's better to overcharge it? I mean, this doesn't need... That just needs to connect to the Berserk one. So if I put this here, it's actually not connected to anything. So I guess I'll do it this way, and then we still get better connections here. And then this accumulates charge. Yeah, and gets overcharged. Okay, it did 1,000 damage in the last room. 270, 270, 23 on our kinetic pseudopod. So yeah, our cannons are not really doing that much. Our drill actually did 400. And then, but what's actually doing all the damage? Well, I guess in the last room, it was just the corpse explosion. Just absolutely trashing this entire room. Let's check the shop. We have 30 coins. And we'll buy some DNA, even though it's not on sale this time. This is after slashing an enemy projectile. We don't have melee weapons to do that. This is a projectile weapon, a flexible energy lash. 200 damage per second, 4 damage every 0 seconds. Interesting. And we could get another cryoflagellum as well. So let's do this for sure. And because we need more movement speed since it gives me more damage anyways. I could upgrade, but let's just go ahead and attach. I figure when we've got the attachment points, it's better to just do that. Oh, I should check also because we have the chance that some of these are rare. It looks like none of them are. But I do have the upgrade that makes it so that some things spawn rare. But once I get 17 cores, we'll come back and get the laser beam. Okay, also we have a little shield that blocks projectiles now. That's kind of nice. Every time I shoot at my my little minion. Getting the drill kills. Getting the corpse explosions. The corpse explosion is so much damage. It's so good. I really like that combo where it just automatically goes off and I don't have to think about it, too. Saves a lot of mental energy. And that electricity is really nice as well. When enemies get close to me from behind or from the underneath, they're just getting popped. Alright, our little melee minion is doing its best out here. Cleared most of that room, but we still have to finish off this stationary enemy, and we got it. Got our cores. Let's go see what this reward is, then we'll go back to the shop. Projectiles orbit the organelle after each kill or a lateral vent. Let's upgrade our Berserk mitochondrion. Just get that rare, and then it does 5 seconds of overcharge, which is pretty nice, I think, with the rare version of that. And then I'm going to fast travel here. I'm going to buy this beam. And do I want to just combine some of my... So this has a fairly substantial arc if I put it on the side. I could combine some of my flagella. I could combine some spore cannons. Let's combine these two and just make this a rare cryoflagellum, because increasing the freeze size is pretty good, I think. And then let's check how this works. So, okay, that is cool. All right, I really like that. Obviously, we're not doing any kind of coherent build right now. We're just putting a bunch of guns onto our character. But, you know, that's how you should learn these games, is just buy a bunch of everything and see what you like. Okay, but I have to hold this down if I want it to go. But it is doing that. And it's been pretty good for clearing those smaller enemies. I think that's probably some sort of toxic cloud. Yeah, I took damage from it. Which I thought I had avoided it, but I guess I just sort of tapped it with the edge of my character. That's okay. We can get an upgraded Berserk Mitochondrion even further, or an upgraded Entrant. Let's get the upgraded Entrant, and then we're going to overcharge things even more. 20 seconds of overcharge is a lot. That means we're always going to have our minion up, basically, because we just need to kill one thing to hit the 25-second overcharge window. I don't see any hearts on the map. I could buy a heart, but I feel like I can clear more rooms without it being too dangerous. So let's head over here. If we haven't found a heart naturally, then we'll go buy one before the boss fight. All right, or I'll walk into an attack there. The one thing that's really getting me is the lack of stamina. I don't know if there's a way I can manipulate our, like if we have a reroll option. I did see a reroll option in the meta progression, so, but I don't know if there's another way in game to manipulate finding another stamina upgrade, because if we were able to find that and actually use all our weapons all the time, we'd be just in very good shape. Clear all these things, and then, okay, but those don't leave gibs behind. Freeze at least 4 enemies at the same time while I did that. Got my little minion down here. Yeah, those guys not leaving any gibs for me to explode is rough. Those enemies are having a cozy time in the corner. All right, what have we got here? Shop prices are cheaper. +1 stamina, that's what we need. Attack speed I would take, but yeah, stamina has been my constant complaint. I did take a lot of damage in that room, unfortunately, but let's fast travel back here. We'll buy the heart, and I don't have enough to buy anything else. Why is it all pink now? Oh, and I could re-roll the shop for 4, though I wouldn't be able to buy anything. Actually, if I do that, does it... Ow. Okay, I'm taking damage. I guess I spent too long in this area. Oh, okay. So there's this pink cloud that's restricting the area I can move in. So there is a reason to do the map fast, because we have this cloud that will damage me. Okay. Well, I didn't know that that was a mechanic, so unfortunately that might cost me this run because I took the extra hit there. But we'll see if we can get this guy anyways. The tutorial did not mention anything about that, so definitely should be included in the tutorial, I think. Unless, obviously, it's possible I missed it. But taking that damage definitely set us back quite a ways, because now we have to be pretty careful here. This guy splits into 2. And eventually I'm going to lose all this cover, which we're using. Try to get past it so that our electricity can zap it. I don't like that the beam, that attack, when it does the laser, sometimes it doesn't show the full distance of the laser. Okay, so I died there. I probably would have been able to win with the extra health, but unfortunately I didn't know that we would be taking damage over time, having taken too long in that room. Still, that was pretty fun. And we can now upgrade our fungus a little bit. So we have 122 fragments to upgrade our fungus. I will say, I've said this before, but if you are a roguelike developer, please stop doing meta progression that's just straight up damage upgrades. No one's excited by it, and it often feels like a prerequisite to be able to progress in the game. So it just is kind of artificially padding your time. -1 max HP, 15% damage. You know what? Let's grab that as well. Extra base speed. That's fun. And sure, we'll offset. So now we've just got 25% damage with no downsides. Spawn 1 heart after beating a boss, or +1 mutation rerolls, or 5% damage after beating each boss. Starting loadout capacity for weapons by 1. Let's go with this, and then I don't have enough to buy anything else because they get progressively more expensive. Okay, and we're going to go with the fungal spore again because I really enjoyed that run. So we're going to do one more run in this video, I think. Okay, and I could choose the cryoflagellum if I wanted, so I could do that, and then put the flagellum here. So that's kind of cool. I could do the capsid flail. So this is a slow but powerful circular melee attack. So what if we do some flails at the front, and then we have our spore cannons at the back, just to try that out. And then I can't do... Yeah, we'll keep the berserk mitochondrion for now. This seems fine. Let's go ahead and... Oh, I can take this as well, so we can get... Attacks have a chance to freeze on our spore cannon. And then let's jump in. So you just click through the intro movie. Okay, that's kind of cool. So it doesn't give us as much ranged capacity, but I really like that attack pattern. And we'll just keep rolling through this early game stuff pretty quickly, I think. Okay, these maces are really sick. So I should be able to block their projectiles as well with the maces. So yeah, the spore cannon's freezing enemies, and then the maces slapping them is great. +1 dodge charge, love it. +20% damage for each empty internal organelle slot. And we currently have 1. So this is pretty powerful if you leave some slots empty. I'm not going to take this, even though I think it probably will be pretty strong later on. Once I, know more about the game. But I just want to try everything, so we're not going to take something that encourages us not to do that. I don't want that. I don't really want that. Let's go with extra dodge charges. So now I can just dodge twice in a row really quickly. I can get a flagellum. I can get... Infected attacks explode when dashing. So... I'm not entirely sure when will this actually activate. Or the oxysome, which just does extra damage. Let's try this. So basically, if I put it here, then the berserk mitochondrion is no longer affecting the flails direct, but it is gaining damage from the sympathetic detonator. So let's see. So if I do that, so basically, if I attack and dash at the same time, we get an explosion. Okay. That's cool. So I want to basically do that a lot. We don't always have those attacks off cooldown is the challenge here. Yeah, because I need my full stamina bar to be able to use the maces at all, I think. No, it didn't work. There we go. Alright, that's a fun combo. I don't know how powerful it is. It's hard to get the timing properly down. And it's definitely going to put me in more danger as I try to go for that. But it also does one-shot enemies. There we go. And being able to just dash through things and, okay. Nope. Come on, game. Let me get it. There we go. Being able to just dash through things and explode them is kind of awesome. We'll definitely take that. So now I can change my shape. Let's go with this shape this time. I feel like we're building a more... Oh, except that removes all of my internal slots, but those become ones that can then take an internal or external, these ones. Yeah, you know what? Let's try this. And then... Oh, I need to... put these somewhere better. So we can put the Berserk Mitochondria in here, put that there, and then this here. But it's not connected. There's no sideways connections. Okay, so I actually... This doesn't work at all, this evolution, unfortunately. Didn't realize that these wouldn't be connected, and so we now have these internal things that don't work. It does let us connect our Berserk Mitochondria to everything, but the sympathetic detonator is no longer functioning at all. I could do it this way, and then it's going to detonate all of our attacks. We won't be overcharging our attacks. And then this... Attacks have a chance to freeze. So is it... Yeah, so it's now... Now we are making, I think, freezing explosions. The gyrosome. Projectiles orbit the organelle. Cluster ejector fires 5 short-range shots. And recuperative mitochondrion. So I would need to combine some stuff. Probably our flagella. Also, do I want my spore cannons at the front instead of at the back? Maybe I do. But let's go with... I do want another gun of some kind. I kind of want to try this gyrosome, though. So let's put this in... Oh, this is an infuser, so it attaches to things. Okay, wasn't paying attention to that, but let's do this, I guess. But yeah, so this was obviously a mistake. We'll just put this in our stash for now. As I said, still learning the mechanics, of course. Then we'll head over to here. Tank some hits. So I need to attack and then dash. Attack and then dash. Attack and dash. Okay. And then we get a freezing explosion. But I did take a bunch of damage there. Wow, I took another hit. I didn't think I was in range of that enemy. But, well, we got a ton of healing. The game was very kind, because it saw me messing up everything in this run. I could upgrade my Berserk Mitochondrion. Let's do that, because it's attached to basically everything, since it's overcharging our sympathetic detonator. And then we'll head over to here. I don't love this build right now, but it is cool that we have this explosion set up. No. Okay, I tried to dash through the enemy here and took a hit. Yeah, it's so... We did pop it immediately. That was pretty powerful. We do a lot of damage. I could upgrade my Spore Cannon. I could upgrade anything. So these are basically the same, because we don't have any extra slots. I don't like this shape as much, because it just doesn't have enough slots, and you can't connect things as easily. So we'll probably change this as soon as we're given the opportunity. But let's go ahead and upgrade, and we'll just upgrade one of our capsid flails. And then on to the next area. I need to remember to clear the actual intestine before heading into these side rooms. We sure do a lot of damage. Okay, so there's... Oh, that guy. It was really hard to see it. Okay. Still don't have extra stamina, which is something that we need. Damage from melee attacks is great. We have melee attacks. Extra range of projectiles, melee attacks, and areas of effect. Let's do that. Just increasing our damage range. There's a reward down here, so I'll go look at that. Extra stamina we're almost certainly taking. Yeah, we're just taking that. We just desperately need that. And then I can fast travel back out into the gut. Oops. So we do get these big freezing explosions, but it's hard not to take damage when this is our plan, because we're so close to enemies all the time. And then we'll head over to here. On the other hand, we are just one-shotting everything that we're facing. I guess not that guy. That guy's too tough. Took a second for our attack to actually go off. Wait for that attack pattern, and then we did one-shot that one. More stamina. 15% damage for each active mitochondrion. So I'm still not sure why we count as having one active and didn't previously. Next mutation pick is applied twice. Kind of cool. Let's just go with more stamina. I think that's going to help the most. Pick up that heart. And we're back to full health. Past where those guys have me stuck, and then I can dash through those enemies. I can dash there. I can do the explosions here. Do the explosions here. All right, I'm kind of getting the hang of how we have to play this character. I really like how differently the different builds that we've had have played so far. Just building slightly different items. We've had to not only, think differently about how we're building the character, but also the actual mechanics are significantly different. So I can't really use that. I just don't have slots for most of this stuff. Creates DNA after being overcharged for 25 seconds. But we aren't attaching an overcharge to everything because we're attaching to the explosion dash. So I guess I'll just take the armor. Which feels a little bad because it's really a tempo pick, presumably. If you just need health to get through the next couple maps. Though, given that I just immediately took damage, maybe we do. I also need to remember to actually go a little bit quickly because the body is sending, some defenses after us, or maybe that represents the researcher taking some penicillin. Ow. Or I guess in this case, an antifungal of some kind. Okay, so we could gain a random attack infuser. What happened to the shape of my character? Why do I look like this? I guess we're mid-dash when it went into the... That's so funny. Dodging restores stamina. Extra max HP, +1 stamina. Let's get dodging restores stamina. Unlock... Yeah, we're stuck. That's why, because we're getting pulled so much. That's cool. It's very funny. We'll unlock that as well. And then we'll head out back into the gut. Fight whatever this is. And by fight, I mean explode instantly. Fight whatever this is. And by fight, I mean freeze it slowly and then explode it instantly. Because I mistimed my dash. The timing on this is fairly tight. So I have to click and then dash immediately. Because if I click and then dash too late, then the explosion doesn't go where I want it. But if I click and dash too early, then we don't get the explosion at all. Also, of course, we want to avoid getting, hit. I say as I get hit. I probably can wait a little longer before dashing, though, and it'll be more consistent. Okay, let's buy this. So I was thinking that this was a practice dummy where you could check, the DPS of your weapons. But I wonder if this is a secret boss, because it does look kind of boss-like. So is this like hitting Charon? You know what? Let's find out here. I'm going to orbital blade strikes nearby enemies. Orbiting blade strikes nearby enemies. So I can upgrade some stuff and buy that. Links enemies together. We saw that previously. Shoots a multiplying virus. Stronger bacteriophages spawn when they kill. Can shoot every 3 seconds and faster if you have it charged. Let's buy that. That seems cool. So I'm going to do that, and I'll put it here, and then we'll just upgrade our flagella. And I'll do the same with the kinetosome. No, I can't afford that. But what if I attack that guy? Does he get mad? Yes, okay. I was wondering. Alright, so I tanked a hit. Ow. My bacteriophage is not doing well. Oh no, I'm getting bounced all over the place. I did expect to lose when I aggroed the shopkeeper, but I was curious, so definitely wanted to try that. I feel like if we'd had a better damage combo like we had in my first run, where we were able to kill enemies really fast, we maybe could have killed it. Or if I'd been better at dodging. But obviously, that's going to happen when you fight the secret boss, and I'm pretty happy about that. I didn't think that run was that awesome anyway, so I was kind of just testing things out. All right, and we unlocked a sequence scrambler. And there we go. So that seems like a good place to cut the video now that I have tried out the secret boss and been defeated by the collector. I was very happy to see that it is, in fact, an enemy. I'm very curious what happens if you kill it. That seems really fun. So we're definitely going to give that another go. So I hope you enjoyed this second look at Pathogenic. I will probably come back and see if I can get a little more consistent, and then I'll do a run that goes a little bit deeper. So I'll play a little off camera, and then see if I can get a run that goes a little deeper so we can look at the later levels. But I hope that you're still enjoying this run. Of course, if you are, then definitely let me know. How I decide to do more of a game is if people like it. So if you like this game, let me know. As always, of course, if you enjoyed the video, hit like, leave a comment, helps me with the algorithm. So I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for potentially more Pathogenic if people are enjoying it, and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.